Okay, well that's live on one. Let's see if I'm live on another. Cool. It shows that I'm live. Hello. Oh no, I just turned my phone off. Okay, accidentally. Okay. Hello, and welcome to Sunday. It's Sunday night. Sunday Night Live. As my husband was trying to do the, hi Lou. My husband was trying to do the Saturday Night Live thing, but for Sunday, and it just didn't work. Hi, my chica. Okay, I'm seeing comments on my phone, but I'm not seeing it on the screen. So, can y'all hear me? Someone tell me they can hear me. Someone tell me they can hear me. I know you can see me because you are there. I got nothing. I got nothing. I got nothing. I know Neil likes to start his Saturday nights or starting his, okay, you can hear me great. I know Neil likes to start with the whole, what are you grateful for? What are you guys grateful for today? Good weather, good friends, family fun, conversations with your mom and your sister. Anybody grateful for that today? Thanks, Lou. What's going on? Hi, Rylan. How are you? Wow, I have Rylan on here today. Interesting. That could be fun. Don't tell your dad. Don't tell your dad. Okay. Oh, grateful for me. Yes. Oh, you might say that different in about 20 minutes. I don't know. We're gonna have some fun tonight. We're gonna talk about something that's I've been working on a project. So we're gonna talk about tonight, but anything else we're grateful for? Anything? Anybody got anything? You know, it's been kind of a weird week here. I think actually, a lot of people are leaving. So there's when it starts to get about April, May, all the RVs start leaving, and so it gets really, really quiet here. Like normally on Wednesdays, there's a line of golf carts and their golf cart parade, all decked out. Like that's done, bingo's done, like everything is done. So in some ways, I'm kind of grateful for the quiet and not so many golf carts driving by our house all the time. Muttley hates golf carts so much he like wants to attack them. So when Leonard's out of town and I have to watch Muttley and take him for walks, it's like I gotta like really hold on to him because if he sees a golf cart, he goes nuts. And you know, people yell at me and it's just not fun. So I'm kind of grateful that they're all kind of starting to leave. I know that sounds bad. I know that sounds awful. But what I'm also grateful for is that we're talking tonight about we're talking about something that, yeah, the parade is pretty funny. The parade is pretty funny to watch. Gotta say. We're going to talk tonight about something that has really shifted the way that I have been thinking about Next Level and what we're doing and how, kind of what's happening here. And so I want to talk to you guys about it today because it's really making a huge difference, not only in the business, but it's also making a difference in my life, and it's called Unreasonable Hospitality. And you may have seen that I got certified in that a couple of months ago through the Donald Miller Coach Builder Story brand. He's all of those things wrapped into one. He's got Flight School, which is like putting together all the parts of an airplane and all the different pieces and how they work together, like in business, so marketing and financial and all of that. And so I'm really excited to be a part of the Coach Builder group because it's been giving me some insight into things that I haven't always thought about before. And I love, but it's not just a normal customer service gimmick. It's nothing like that. But it's something that we did at Absolutely Her that, you know, initially it was started with me, obviously because I owned it and I was working by myself. But then it just grew, and so our team also did it. But here's the deal. A lot of people will think that what I do on my side of the lane is fluff. And they've told me that it's fluff, and it's really not important. But I'm going to explain to you for the first time, I'm going to tell you a story that I've never put out there in public because I've never wanted to tell it. But I'm going to do it tonight. Um, Neil is the finance guy. We know that. We know that's important. We know numbers are important, reports are important. All of that is very important. And I never saw myself as a money person. I never took myself seriously as the money person. It always scared me. I shied away from it. I just was like doing what I have to do with it. And then I was like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. And so, Neil's got confidence with those numbers. They're so tangible that you can run reports, you can see it on their bank account, you can see it profit and loss, balance sheets, whatever you want. You can physically see that on a piece of paper. But you cannot see what I do on a piece of paper. You cannot see the profit of how you touch someone's life on a piece of paper and how you make a difference. But that's part of what sets up unreasonable hospitality. I've always been kind of the behind the scenes person, but here's the truth. I was earning, right? I've been earning financially from what I do for a very long time. But but I don't always see it that way, and I never had this way that I put it together until just recently. That in our store we earned our customers. We called it earn. It was EARN, the earn poster. Through experience, attitude, respect, and being nice, we earned them every flippin' day. Some days did we fall short? Absolutely. We all do because we're human. But I was earning customers because we were trustworthy, we were transparent, we were trying to always be and do the right thing, and just you could see when a customer was not themselves, and so we tried to lift them up. And that, you guys, that turns into financial success. Earning your customers in that way in hospitality turns into financial success. And it's one of those things. Again, I'm not a numbers girl. I don't understand them. Half the time I need some help trying to do it, because when I had Absolutely Her, I wasn't tracking data. I wasn't tracking sell-through. I wasn't tracking my inventory, how much I took in, what sold, the numbers and all of that. I didn't start doing that until the end, till near the end. Instead, I was obsessing about people. Does anybody relate to this? Can anybody relate to this? In fact, that you are more relationship based than financial based. Anybody feel that way? Because when you are relationship based, you know how to make people feel seen. You know how to touch someone's life in a way that they didn't know that they needed, or a way that you didn't realize that you actually did. When I closed the store, we had people that would come in and tell us, all these things about Absolutely Her, that there was the place to go when they had no place else to go, when they didn't know where to go. Absolutely Her would be that place where they could just wander, have a cup of coffee, just sit. I didn't care, just come be whatever you needed to be in the store. Thank you, Carmela. I see that in you a lot. The relationships matter, right? But again, this doesn't show up on a balance sheet. It doesn't show up in any kind of financials, what we do. But we built trust. We built return visits. We built a place where people just came. And they spent money. They brought their things to us, which I always still, to this day, makes me surprised that people brought me things that they had no idea who I was, but it was word of mouth and reviews and all that stuff that just built that trust and brought them into the store. So as it became a second home for people, what I realized was a lot of times I felt that I was too soft. I wasn't businessy enough. And here's what I want to say to you. If you feel like you are not businessy enough, the ability to create meaningful connections, the ability to make someone feel seen, the ability to give grace when grace is needed, that's a superpower. That's not a detriment. That's not something that you should be like, oh, everybody else is so good at this and I'm not. They're so good at the money and I'm not, and all this stuff. It's your edge. It's what sets you apart. Because profit isn't the opposite of heart. Profit is the result of it. Profit isn't the opposite of heart. It's the result of it. And, April is also, so here's the book that I've been reading. April. Hi, Rose. Good to have you on tonight. So she's been reading, like I've read this a bazillion times, and she's been reading it now. And one of the quotes that stand out to both of us was, all it takes for something extraordinary to happen is one person with enthusiasm. All it takes for something extraordinary to happen is one person with enthusiasm. Right? Great quote. And I love this because I have enthusiasm so much for this. So great things are coming. Okay, so here's the part of the story that I have never told you guys before. I've never talked about because I didn't want it to feel braggy. I didn't want it to make someone feel bad. I'm not telling you to make you feel bad or that you're not doing the right things. I'm telling you this because if you think that most of what I do is fluff, let me show you how it's not fluff. Let me just give you a little background on why it's not fluff. And I'm really still struggling over saying this right now. I opened my store. I was lucky enough to have been able to take a year or so of my paychecks and bank them in order to open the store. So I opened the store debt-free, except to a debt to the Bank of Leonard. That's what we called it. My husband's name was Leonard. So we called it the Bank of Leonard. So I had a debt to the Bank of Leonard. Within a very short period of time, I would have been able to pay that off and get that off of the books, except I listened to my accountant and we did it the tax way, which whatever that means, however he wanted it to do. So I did it that way. But I could have gotten that off my books within a very short amount of time. And here we go. Within a few years, I had over $50,000 in the bank to cover consignor payouts and emergency fund. It came from It's a Wonderful Life. The having the run on the bank. I never wanted to have the run on the bank. And so I didn't pay myself. I did the things that if I would have known now, back then. But I was able to build this bank account up. And it's not easy to build that much money up. But we did it. We did it because we were building such a community of impact and the fluff and all the stuff that people don't want to pay attention to. And we were doing unreasonable hospitality through a different term, as we called the EARN. Again, experience, attitude, respect, and nice. I wasn't financially savvy. I wasn't smart. I didn't know how. I wasn't doing all these things because it was a smart thing to do. I did it out of fear. But the way that I ran the store, it took away that fear, if that makes any sense. Being able to do things and provide for people, not only, eventually I did start taking a paycheck, I did do all of that, but I was able to provide for people that needed it within our community. I was able to provide for our team. I was able to provide for people that might not, that just needed that little extra something. And I did it with the fluff. I'll admit it. I'll tell you that. So when I made that decision to close the store, and it was a decision that was made for me because they kicked me out when the new landlord came in. My incredible landlord passed away. New landlord, they made the decision to kick me out. I took that decision, and I could have opened another store, but I wasn't in the mindset to do it, so I closed. Part of my dream, when Neil came to my store and asked me, like he will ask you, anybody, when he has conversations about what is your dream. Part of my dream was to have an RV and travel. So when this all happened and I closed my store, we bought a 40-foot luxury RV, and then we ended up buying a house here in Florida. Again, I'm not saying this for any other reason but to tell you that unreasonable hospitality will work if you let it work for you and do a lot of great things. Is that I was able to buy all that debt free. Finally said it. We bought the house, we bought the RV, no payments, no debt, no regrets, no nothing. Because of what I've been doing for so long and setting it up. And setting up my team to know what unreasonable hospitality is within our business. They didn't know everything of what to do, but they saw me doing it, and when I asked them what customer service looked like, the back of my door was painted with dry erase paint so I could ask questions. We put the question up there, what does great customer service look like to you? And when I asked them once, like, where did you come up with these ideas? They said it was because I modeled it. So I might not be the money person, but I am the earn person. Experience, attitude, respect, and being nice. Can anybody relate to anything I said? Like, I don't know if there's comments, I'm not seeing anything happening. So I really hope people are still here. I have no idea. But I took small, intentional actions and built absolutely her to what she was. The result wasn't just that it was a profitable one, but it was a meaningful one. But here's what I will tell you right now, off the bat, right off the top. Unreasonable doesn't happen unless you do unreasonable hospitality on yourself. Unless you are unreasonable with yourself, you're not going to be able to put unreasonable hospitality out there to the world. Rose, I can see that with you too. Because here's the deal. Yes, building direct and lasting relationships with your customers. Yes, exactly. Thanks, Rylan, for putting that in there. So unreasonable hospitality just doesn't belong out there in the wild, in the world. It has to start with you. Because if you're not feeling it, you're not going to love on it. You're not going to be able to do it with meaning, intent, and heart, and grace, and all the other things. Because I used to show up for everybody. I still do. I am not good at saying no, and so I get exhausted, I get overwhelmed, I get just to that point where I start cracking, so to speak. It's my cry under the counter moment. You're right. When they were in what April said, when the team was empowered, it changed their impact on customers as well. Because so when I was in these exhausted phases and I would shut down and it was that, you just push through exhaustion. You push through it because you have to get it done. But I needed to rest, I needed to recharge, I needed to reset. But I would walk into that store and I'd be like grumpy, growly, and I'd be like, I do not want to be here. The team could see it. I wasn't coming in with cups of coffee with their names all over it, and love notes on their coffee. I wasn't coming in that way when I wasn't feeling it myself and when I was doing myself a disservice. So hospitality, like April said, hospitality is contagious, but so is burnout. When they saw me doing the things, it's contagious. And when they were doing the things, it was contagious because they felt it. They were feeling. They were in the middle of it. And when you know how to make someone feel good, and when you get that, it's so selfish that you almost like, what can I do now? Because I want that feeling again. I want to feel that the way, the grace, the loving on people. I want to feel all that. But burnout is also contagious. When I would walk in feeling the grumpy growly, as Boy 8 showed, and I didn't like that feeling. But you cannot pour out kindness to other people if you are not giving it to yourself, if you're withholding it from yourself. And I will tell you, that April still tells me, she'll still say to me, if I were to have said that to you, what would you say back to me? Because I don't talk the best about myself sometimes, right? That negative self-talk, that lack of confidence, that all of that stuff, you start realizing that if I can't put out, if I'm not feeling the grace, then I can't give the grace. And that's really hard for me. I need to be able to do that. So I want you to, if you get anything from tonight, the very touch on unreasonable hospitality is that you don't do one thing for the masses. It's not, giving everybody a pack of M&Ms and making everybody feel good. No. It's giving April her little peppermint Andes mints. It's giving, for me, it's giving Neil something chocolate, but there's nothing else in it. It's the little things. It's understanding what's important to every single person individually, because it's not one for the masses, it's one for one. And it's the same with yourself. It's putting that unreasonable hospitality and doing it for you, because then you can do one for so many people one-on-one. So if that makes any sense, because it makes sense to me. The whole process of unreasonable hospitality is a process. It is a process. It's a long process. It's identifying things within your store where you are falling short and where you are hitting the mark so high that it's amazing. Amazing. So that's what I want to know, if you guys want me to continue to do more of unreasonable hospitality. If you want to see more of this in your store. If you want to see more of this in the program. If you do, just type yes or something in the comments that say that you want to see it. Because if you felt that calling, that there is something more, that there is something that you should be doing in your store to reach your customers, to reach your community, unreasonable hospitality is where it's at. We might call it earn, we might call it something else, but if that's something that you feel like you want to see in your business, just let me know. If it's something, because one of the things I'm trying to do intentionally too is to figure out what you all want. What you want in your business, in your store, what you want from us, so that we can fill you up, right? We want to give unreasonable hospitality to you. Thank you guys for saying yes. I've got a lot of fun things started. It is a different way of looking at things. It's so different. It's so different when you're not seeing it for the big whole picture. When you're seeing it for one-on-one, what you can do for one person and make a difference. What you can do for one person and make a difference. That's the exciting part about it. That's what Absolutely Her was about. It was Absolutely Her. The walls, everything, were covered with ways to uplift people, ways to make an impact. We talked in ways to make impact and connect. So that's what unreasonable hospitality is going to do. But the most important thing is that you start listening. You have to start listening to what you're hearing from your customers, what they want. And so I want to hear from you. I want to know what you want to hear. And if you want to send me an email, DM, Messenger, however you want to reach out and tell us that this is what I need, this is what I want, this is what's going to energize me and fill me up, let me know, because that's where I want to head, because that's unreasonable hospitality. So, does anybody have any questions on this, on anything that I'm talking about tonight? I love that, right, Rose? It's taken me a long time to say it's okay to take time for myself too. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to take 5 days. And I'm not taking, I'm going to say this right now, I'm not taking my laptop. I probably will just for other things, but I'm not going to work for 5 days. I need a break, right? So that's the kind of things that we want to do. But here's what I want to leave you with. This is from the Unreasonable Hospitality book by Will Guidara. He was the owner of a restaurant in New York City that became number one in the world. And it wasn't number one in the world because of the food. It was number one in the world because it was the food and it was the unreasonable hospitality that they gave to their clients or their customers. And it's so cool how to walk through this process, and I want to walk through that with you. But this is what he says. We are in the middle of a digital transformation. That transformation has enhanced many aspects of our lives, but too many companies have left the human behind. They've been so focused on products, they've forgotten about people. And while it may be impossible to quantify in financial terms the impact of making someone feel good, don't think for a second that it doesn't matter. In fact, it matters more. Right? It matters more. Unreasonable hospitality. We're going to head down that track. We're taking the train down that track. So, yeah, let me know if you have any questions on that. Does anybody have any questions for me that they want? Anybody have anything different they want to talk about tonight? Or do you want to just join me back here probably on Wednesday about the same time? I'm going to try to do 8 then-ish like Neil does. And we're going to step into another topic on unreasonable hospitality. We're going to just get a little bit more into it so you have a better concept of what it is and how it's going to affect your store and how it affects your business. So on that note, you guys, thank you for joining me tonight on a Sunday night. I hope it's beautiful where you are. It's beautiful here. I'm going to go take a little stroll around the quiet neighborhood and not worry about getting run over by a golf cart. So I will talk to you guys later. Thank you, Rose. I appreciate you. And have a great night. Oh, wait. April has so many ideas for our members. She has been texting me today about this and that, and she's having a hard time getting through the book because she keeps writing things down, which means it's a great book. It's a really great book, great concept. So, I'm supposed to say something about the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, all of that. Never been to a bar mitzvah, so can't say that one. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great night. I will see you on Wednesday. Bye, everybody. If I can figure out how to stop this thing.